Hello everyone, welcome to PaperDaisyJournals. It's Kylie. I have to first apologise for the light. It is raining here again and this is the best that I can do. So a little bit gloomy, but that's okay. Just, snuggle down and follow along with this flip through. I am currently working on a blue collection of journals, and this little one is the first in the collection. I've called her Fiona because she has hand embroidered forget-me-nots on her cover. I actually designed this pattern and stitched it myself, so I'm a little bit proud of that achievement. And I just wanted to keep the cover simple, obviously, so the embroidery patch was the focus. So I have attached the linen fabric to the journal with these glass milk buttons, and that's all. So it is like a little secret pocket underneath that you could put a note if you wished. I have used a modern linen on the cover, the white fabric, but I have used this, I guess it's like a cotton trim as a sort of belly band, I guess, but I did stitch it down, so that part's not going to move, and it is stitched around. So my journals typically have three parts: a back, a spine and a front. I kept the spine plain because I just wanted a minimalist look, I guess, on the outside, which I'm really happy with. This is A6 size, so A5 size is technically twice the size. And it has 4 signatures, so typically lots of things going on, lots of fabrics and laces. And inside I've used original French documents and gorgeous vintage wallpaper to line the journal, and I lined the spine with old document and the cover, and then I just connected the two with washi tape, which I have used permanent glue to make sure that it did stay stuck. So that gives the journal flexibility, but it sort of holds it together as well, because as you can see, the fabric on the cover and that trim also wrap all the way around, so it's well held together. I didn't put any pockets on the front. I just wanted to go with a sort of more delicate look. But of course, I've overpacked the rest of the journal. I think if you take everything out, it would be very easy to sort of fill again with your own ephemera. And I made a couple of tags, so that's just on a tea stain tag with some bits and pieces stuck on in a nice big bow, and that's in a crochet medallion from a tablecloth. Little heart cut out there. And funnily enough, I will confess, a lot of the tricky things that appear in my journals are happy accidents. They're not intentional. I probably pass them off as being like creative and cool, but the reality is I went to stitch this as a pocket onto this piece of ephemera, and for some weird reason I had that page that was meant to be its own page still on the back of this vintage receipt, so I kind of accidentally made a double pocket, but I really love how it turned out, so full credits to me. So I did a little tag at the back. I kept it plain because they are delicate, but I had to size it to fit in that pocket, so there's a little blue butterfly sticking out the top. So that's my happy accident for this journal. There's usually one in every journal. A silk ruffle with a really beautiful glass button dangling off. They are actually little, I'm thinking forget-me-nots, because that's what they look like. and I've used tea stained paper throughout the journal. Here I've made another tag or card with some beautiful vintage trim, and that's just a belly band on some vintage ledger. I've used a couple of my blue digital kits. So this is, I think, the blue Pastel Blue Kit, and I've changed them a little bit and done more collaging, and I think the reason I've done that is they are 5-page mini kits, and usually it's 4 collage pages and a page of ephemera, but what you can do to make it a 9-page kit is reprint the 4 collage pages, because a lot of the ephemera that I've scanned and used can be cut out and made into ephemera or decorative pieces in a journal. So that's a way that you can turn a 5-page mini kit into a 9-page full-size journal kit. Because as you can see here, this postcard can sort of be cut out. I did shrink these pages down and printed 2 to a page so that they fitted into the A6 size journal. Yeah, so I just thought I'd point that out, because a lot of people ask me, oh, can you make more pages in a kit? And I think, well, maybe just being more creative with the kit actually gives you those extra pages. I have a little tag from a book page and a floating pocket with a really beautiful old bobbin lace tuck spot. This is a vintage hand-stitched handkerchief, and I've just cut that down into a pocket and made another tag, and that is a little doily label from my Doily label kit. They are intentionally small, so you can use them as labels. Here I've just done a little decoration, and they are the 2 pages that accidentally got sewn together at the start of the journal, and I've kept them separate there, but that is an old French telegram, and I just love that bluey grey colour. Another simple tag with a piece from one of the kits, and that's some beautiful old fabric with a little cluster there. And on this side I've sewn the pocket and sewn this down as a little tuck spot, so that's a little piece of ephemera from the blue butterfly kit. I've used that in this journal as well. Original piece of ephemera there, and I've used my embroidery tag kit, so I've made a whole lot of tags and cards out of vintage doilies. And that's a gorgeous fabric pocket there with some trim. And tab there. This is another page from one of my kits. I'll link those in the description. So just some collaging there. You can easily cut tags and cards out of the collage pages as well, so they can be used like a masterboard, which is another creative way of using a mini kit. Another doily I've just folded in half as a little tab over the top of the page, because then it decorates the other side as well. And that's a wallpaper tag with one of the little butterflies and a piece of ephemera from the kit, some lace. I made a little card here, and I've used a little Tim Holtz paper clip with a vintage pearl bead on it, and I'll just try and get that off. And that's just a collage page with some Lochta paper, some original documents, and some ephemera, and a little scrap of trim there for something a bit tactile. I've used embroidery, French embroidery magazine pages as well as some of, to give it that vintage vibe. A piece of ephemera from the butterfly kit, and I've just put a little piece of scrap fabric and a little piece of trim there, and I've just sewn it on in a rustic way just to give it a little bit of difference and texture, and I love how that's sort of hanging down on that vintage document. A cluster here, so I made a long snippet roll, and I'm just sort of now using pieces of that in my journals to add interest and texture. That's on Braille, and that's a page from my floral ledger kit. So I've just used the blank ledger on one side and the floral ledger on the other. Another tag from my linen doily tag kit, and pockets and ruffles everywhere. I've tried to leave some pages obviously for writing. I try and keep that balance in my journals. And this is just a collage page with vintage wallpaper and a French document, a little ruffle, and it flips out just to sort of increase the journaling space. And I loved that as a center piece in the middle of the journal, or that signature. That's a image just like I try so hard to get through smoothly. That's an image from one of the collage pages, and I've used it to decorate a page. I'm so not good at talking about my own kits. I find it really awkward. This is an original postcard, and I initially had it sewn as a pocket on one of the pages, but I felt that it was too heavy for the journal, so I tore it off, and of course had to tear the side that wasn't stitched, but it has gorgeous writing on the back. Look how beautiful that penmanship is. So carefully considered, and I just love that that lady on the postcard, so I would like to think that's Fiona. And I've cut a doily into 4 parts just to use as a pocket, but I haven't sewn this corner here. I've just sewn here and across there and up the side. And I've used that beautiful piece of hand-dyed French trim as a little tuck spot there. And this was off the document that I've used throughout the journal, and it had all those gorgeous old stamps on it. And I thought if you're clever, you can maybe pull some of them off to use in the journal, or use that as a journaling card. So I just slipped that in there. Some more printable pages, a fabric tab, and I loved that rose there, so I sort of stitched around it to give it a little frame. Some more vintage documents from 1953 with the stamps, and I've just decorated that. Another embroidery tag in a another pocket with a butterfly. And a collage page on the back, a little ruffle on the top this time, just so there's things sticking out the top of the journal. Belly band, just with a light decoration there, and a very old French receipt there, and some of that embroidery with a tab, and that's got some nice amount of journaling space on the back. Music page, just with a little bit of decoration there, and some more of that beautiful trim, hand sewn on with the button, and another book tag, and that's been used on the front cover, so you could cut it out as like a little pocket. Another printable page, and I've just put the leftover butterflies on the other side of that document, and I just love the three butterflies in a row, and that's another little doily. And the back page again is collage with French documents and wallpaper and a little bit of music paper, just to keep the feel of the journal light. So that is Fiona. You can see her little pearl bead there. And I just love that forget-me-not. It's a vintage glass button just dangling down there. So yes, that's Fiona, the first of 4 journals in the Blue collection. I am now currently selling my journals on my Instagram shop account, which I will put in the description as well. I have an explanation of why I've done that in my previous video, but Etsy fees and tax take 50% of the price of the price that I put on items, and it's just not sustainable because I do use a lot of antique and vintage things in my journals, and I do put a lot of time into them as well. Stitching, designing that and stitching that was not a 5-minute project. So I price my journals according to the time and the skill involved. So yes, unfortunately I won't be selling my physical items in my Etsy shop, because if I do, I have to put them up by 20%, and then with postage on top of that, I just feel that it becomes an overpriced item. So yes, we'll see how we go with Instagram as a shop, and I'll put a time and date so that everyone has time to watch this video and or look at the photographs on my main Instagram account, and we'll see how we go. So thank you for being with me today, and hopefully it is nice and sunny where you are. Bye.